What's going on, everyone? I want to do a brief video on what in-text citations are and what the reference page is, just to clarify. All right, so this is the student sample that we are looking at this week. Just remember, this student sample does not have an image. They did not have to find an image for that semester. So just remember that you need at least one image placed within your report. My video lecture on finding sources discusses that a little bit further. All right, so let me show you the difference between in-text citations and the reference page. All right, so remember your introduction should be at least a paragraph or two at the most. You don't need sources there. You're just explaining what your topic is. All right. Then the rest of your paper is divided into 2 or 3 if you want viewpoints, meaning it's not an argument paper, so you have to examine your topic from different perspectives or viewpoints or opinions depending on what your topic is. So this student is writing about student council at a high school. All right, so what they did was they have their introduction, and immediately after the introduction, give whatever first viewpoint you're writing about a title. She wrote about the benefits of student council. All right, and you need a few paragraphs for the viewpoints because that's where all your sources are going in. All right, you can't stop there because it's not an argument paper, so you have to go into a second viewpoint, and that's what she is doing right here, questioning the importance. So first she's writing about the benefits, the good things about student council, but she's not convincing her audience that it's good. She's also thinking about the other side. All right, she was in student council, so she loved student council, but she had to kind of forget about her opinion for a second and write about this viewpoint, about those who question the importance of it. You need a few paragraphs for that as well. All right, then your conclusion. You can add a third viewpoint if you want, but you don't have to. All right, so let's look at an in-text citation. So in-text citations are when you find a source, you use it in your paper, and you give credit to the source. That's called an in-text citation. So we can see an in-text citation right here. All right. She has a direct quote, meaning she took this directly from an article and placed it into a report, word for word. And then right after you use your source, you have to use the in-text citation. All right. Don't have direct quotes go more than 2 lines. Do you see how she only did 1 line here? It's perfect. All right. The majority of your research paper is your own writing. All right. You're going to notice in-text citations pop up every so often, but the rest of the paper is your own writing. So that's called synthesizing. When you find a group of sources and you use them in your figuring out how to use them and when to use them, organizing them under the viewpoints is called synthesizing. So right here she has one source, Marco 2018, and this is the same source, Marco 2018. You don't see quotation marks here because this is a paraphrase, meaning she reworded the idea of the source in her own wording. All right. Remember that for direct quotes, a new rule that we're following is you also need right here after the year of the page that this source is on, or the paragraph number. All right, so don't forget to add that. If it's a paraphrase, you just do author, last name, and year. All right, paraphrase is rewording the idea of the source in your own writing, but you still need the in-text citation to give credit. So take a look at this paragraph. Do you see an example of an in-text citation being used? If so, where? If you want to pause the video and find it, you can, but here is an example of another source she used in her paper. All right, and is it a direct quote or a paraphrase? Ooh, my battery is going to die. It is a direct quote because of the little quotation marks right here. And again, she did a great job not going over 2 lines with direct quotes. This part right here that's highlighted is taken from a source. And to avoid plagiarism, she has the author last name and year. And then just remember the page number. That's a new rule we're following. After the year, put the page number or paragraph number that this came from in the source. All right. Do you notice how the majority of this paragraph is her own writing? And only this little part right here that's highlighted is the source. All right. So write about your topic, your section, the viewpoint constantly, and then pause and use one of your sources to reinforce what's being discussed. All right. She also used swales. about discourse communities in this paper, which is neat. All right, so that's her second source for this section. And this Marco source is nice. It seems to be helpful for her throughout. All right. So you can see that the in-text citations are being used, but they're not overused. For example, you wouldn't put another quote or a source right here because you want to write a little bit on your own. Explain, what this means in your own words, then continue on and then add the source after. All right. You want at least 2 different sources in each viewpoint. All right, so on the benefits of student council, she has this Marco source, and then she has DeVette, all right, and then Swales. She has 3 different sources used. This is the same source, Marco, so that doesn't count. It counts, of course, as a grade, but it's 3 different sources in this viewpoint about the benefits, all right. Questioning, so what else? Here's another one, right? It's a quote. It's an article, it looks like, right? And then McRumors, there's a different one. Good. All right, let's see what else. I would argue she might want to add one more source somewhere in here so that it's not too much of her own writing. All right, I don't see any in-text citations here, so maybe one more, whether it's one of these again or something else, but she's following the guidelines excellently and using at least 2 different sources in her paper. So I'm trying to count. You all need at least 5 sources total for this entire paper, and it looks like she has exactly 5, right? Yeah. All right. So these are in-text citations. All right. I've had students in the past write excellent papers, but while I'm reading through it, I don't see any in-text citations. That can significantly hurt your grade because that is committing plagiarism, even if you unintentionally do it. All right, so don't skip these in-text citations. All right, it's an automatic 0 with that, so be careful. Make sure you're always giving credit immediately after you use a source. All right, now that's an in-text citation. The reference page is also needed in your paper. It's the last page of your paper. You title it references because that's APA, and it's a list of all the sources we just looked at in the paper. All right, but it has the full information on the source because the in-text citations only tell us the author, last name, the year, and maybe the page number or paragraph number. So I can't find source information if I just saw that, right? I wouldn't know how to find that. So I can see McRumors 2018, I can scroll to the reference page, and there it is right there, McRumors, all right, 2018. There it is. Let's look at another one. Lally 2018. I read this and I think, okay, I want to find this source. There it is. Lally 2018. So when I told you all, what's the difference between in-text citations and references? That's the difference. And yes, you need both because they go together. The references is the point of reference. It's how you organize all your sources in alphabetical order. And do you notice if your source goes into a second line? For example, this is her second source here. It goes into the second line like it did right here. Make sure to indent that second line. All right, keeps it organized. You can have more than 5 sources. Please have more. But this paper isn't too lengthy, so that's more than enough. Plus, your image counts as a source. All right, so where you want to place that image in your report is up to you. Place it in one of the viewpoints. All right. Explain what the image is. Describe it to your audience. Let me know if y'all have questions. This is a major part. This is kind of the whole purpose of a research paper, is synthesizing, meaning you find all these sources. Now, how do you use them? How do you organize them under viewpoints? Use them as many times as you want, wherever you want, but always do these in-text citations. All right? Please email me if y'all have any questions about that, or let me know if these videos are helpful or if they're too much. All right, it can help me as well. I'm new to explaining all this through online, so let me know. All right, y'all take care.